Hello everyone, this is Sushant and welcome to your channel which is Science Genius. We have been uploading videos for the mathematics section and the physics section. This is going to be the video for the surface tension. So if you're new to the channel, please do go and watch the playlist for the MHCET mathematics section and the MHCET physics section. The link for them is given in the description below. Do like our videos, do share our videos and do subscribe to our channel. Do hit the bell icon which is just beside the subscribe button. Your liking and sharing of the videos will help us make more videos. So keep learning, keep watching and happy learning and stay safe in the current situation. So let's get going. These were the two questions which were asked in the previous video of oscillation. So if you have missed that particular video, in the description below there is a link for that video, so you can just have a look at it. So the first question is talking about, they have given two arrangement of identical strings, wherein this is my series arrangement and this is the parallel arrangement. In the series arrangement, the time period of this configuration is having 2 seconds. I need to find what is this arrangement going to have. That is the time period of the second arrangement. We have to assume that the two identical strings are basically connected in the same manner over here. So these are the same springs. So let us assume that the spring has a constant of k. Now since it is connected in series, we know for series connection the answer or the overall constant, that is the spring constant, is going to be nothing but k by 2, and for a parallel arrangement it is going to be 2k. Now the formula which we are using is t, that is the time period, is given by 2 pi root of k m by k. So this is the formula which we are using. Now in the first case, let us say t1 is for this whose time period is given, which is 2 seconds, is equal to 2 pi root of m by k, which is k by 2. So it is going to be 2m by k. And t2 whose time period we need to find, it is 2 pi root of m by 2k. So let us find what is t1 by t2, the ratio of t1 by t2. So you can see that the 2 pi gets cancelled out and also we get the m by k cancelling out. So we have a root 2 in the numerator and a 1 by root 2 in the denominator. So this 2 goes up and I'll be getting this as t1 as t2 and t2 is equal to 2. So 2 by t2 is 2. So that means t2 becomes 1. That's your option B. Going to the next one, we have a simple pendulum whose time period is t1. Now if this particular pendulum is presented in an accelerated frame of reference, which is moving upwards with the equation y is equal to k t square, where k is 1 meter per second square, what is the new time period which is going to be there? So since it is being in the accelerated time frame, the constant or the acceleration which is going to be present on the bob or the pendulum is going to be something which is different. So that is going to be calculated from here. So if I find the double derivative of this term, I get that the d square y by dt square is going to be nothing but 2k, and k is 1, so this becomes 2 meter per second. So this is the acceleration which is there on the suspension. Now because of this acceleration and also the acceleration of gravity, the overall acceleration which is going to be present on the pendulum is going to be g plus 2. So we know that the omega for a simple pendulum is given by root of g by L, and from that my omega is nothing but 2 pi by t. Since we are talking about the simple pendulum which is present only under gravitation, it's t1. So from this we get that t1 square is equal to 2 pi square upon Lg. So now let us go for the accelerated frame. The only thing which is going to be different is going to be the same thing, that is 2 pi square is going to be there, the L is going to be there, and the thing which is changing is nothing but the accelerated frame. So acceleration is going to be nothing but, as we discussed, it is g plus 2. So if I find this ratio, that is t1 by t2, so if I find t1 square upon t2 square, it is going to be equal to, you can see that the 2 pi square L gets cancelled out from both these terms, and I'll be getting the g in the denominator and g plus 2 in the numerator. So the g plus 2, which is g is 10, so it becomes 12 divided by g, which is nothing but 10. So this becomes 6 by 5. So I'm getting the t1 square upon t2 square as 6 by 5, which is nothing but your option. So we see that the first question is wherein we have a mercury drop of radius 1 centimeter. It is made up into 10 raised to 6 drops of equal size. What is going to be the energy which is going to be expended in this case? So this is a problem wherein we need to find the work done in making these drops. So work done is nothing but the tension, that is surface tension, into the change in the area. So for that we need to find the change in area. So first of all, we had the original drop of 1 centimeter. So we know that the area, surface area of the sphere, so we can assume that the drop is spherical in shape. So the surface area of the drop is nothing but 4 pi r square. Now we are making 10 raised to 6, so we need to find what is the new radius of the drops which are being made. So for that we have to understand that the volume of the drop is going to be same after it is being split up into 10 raised to 6 droplets. So that means the volume, original volume, will be equal to the final volume. So the original volume, we know volume of sphere is 4 by 3 pi r cube. So it is 4 by 3 pi into 1 centimeter. So 1 centimeter is 10 raised to minus 2 meters and raised to 3. So it is r cube, and this will be equal to 4 by 3 pi, the new radius r cube, into 10 raised to 6. So we can divide by 10 raised to 6. So 4 by 3 pi gets cancelled out. This becomes 10 raised to minus 6. From this becomes 10 raised to minus 12. So r cube is 10 raised to minus 12, and we are getting r is equal to 10 raised to minus 4 meters. Next we need to find the energy lost, that is the energy which is going to be required. So that energy is going to be nothing but the tension into the change in area. So the original area is 4 pi r square, where r is 1, and the new is going to be 10 raised to minus 4 into, we have 10 raised to 6 droplets. So let us find the change in area. So tension, we know it is given to us as 32 into 10 raised to minus 2, and we have to find what is the change in area. So that is nothing but we have the 4 pi common outside, so we can write this 4 pi outside, and we have the r square inside it. So r square is nothing but 10 raised to minus 2, the square of it, minus, next one is going to be the 10 raised to minus 4 square, and into 10 raised to 6 droplets. If you do this particular calculation, you will get the answer as A. Moving on to the next one, we have the air pressure of a soap bubble of radius r, which exceeds the outside pressure by 10 pascals. How much will be the pressure inside the bubble if the radius is 2r? Now we know that the formula for delta P, that is a change in pressure, or basically how much extra pressure is there inside, is given by 4T by R. So you can see that it is dependent on, inversely proportional to R. So if I am having my increase in the radius, so obviously there will be a decrease in the pressure. So you can see if my radius is increasing by twice, then the pressure will decrease by half. So it's going to be nothing but equal to 5 pascals, because the original one was 10 pascals. So that's nothing but your option. Moving on to the next one, we need to find the work done in blowing a bubble. So bubble such that its diameter increases from D to D. So again, this is the problem of work done. So we know that the work done is nothing but the tension into delta A, that is a change in the area. So finally the area is D, capital D, and initially the diameter is capital D, and the initial diameter was D. So it has to go from the small d to D. So my delta A, since it is going to be a soap bubble, we know that for the soap bubble it is twice the area of the sphere. So that means the area is going to be nothing but, if I want to find the area of the original one, it is going to be 2 into 4 pi r square. So that is going to be 8 pi r square, but since the diameter is given, it's going to be d square by 4. So you can see that this gets cancelled out. It becomes 2 pi d square. So in the same logic, we will be getting, this is the area 1, and the area 2 is going to be nothing but 2 pi capital D square. So the difference in the area is going to be nothing but the tension. So in this case the tension is given as S, so it is S into, we can take the 2 pi common, so it is 2 pi outside, and inside we'll be having d square minus small d square. So you can see that's nothing but your option B. Moving to the next one, so it is telling us about a uniform glass capillary tube of radius this much, and it is immersed in water to a depth of h, which is 1 centimeter. So it's basically looking like this. We have a container which is containing water, and inside this we are inserting a tube. This height is given to us as 1 centimeter. So h is given as 1 centimeter. We need to find what is the extra pressure which is required if I want to release bubbles from here. Now if I want to create a bubble over here, that means I have to basically push this air which is going inside, and I have to push that air and make a bubble over here. So that means I need to find the extra pressure inside the bubble. So we know that for a bubble to be created inside water, the extra pressure delta P is equal to nothing but your 2T by R. So that extra pressure is given by 2T by R. So if I substitute the value, I'll be getting this as 2 into 7 into 10 raised to minus 2 divided by R, that is the radius. So that's nothing but 0.025. Now since this is 0.025, it is given in centimeter. So we need to have an extra 10 raised to minus 2 also present in it. So that is why this particular calculation gives us 560 as the answer. That is the difference in pressure, which is nothing but equal to, if you just see the answers, it is given by 0.0056 10 raised to 5. So it's basically shifting of the decimal places, and you get this particular answer, that is B. So as you know, for your practice purpose, we also provide you couple of questions. So these are the 2 questions for this particular video. Do let us know in the comment section what do you feel the answer to these questions to be. The solution for these questions will be provided in the upcoming video. So stay tuned for that. So thank you guys for watching our video. Do let us know in the comment section how do you find these videos, whether it is helping you in your preparation or not. Also let us know in the comment section what more videos you would like us to make on. To get the regular updates, just press the bell icon which is just beside the subscribe button. So if you're not yet subscribed to our channel, do subscribe it. So keep learning, keep watching, and happy learning, and stay safe.